Good afternoon, those of you joining us live on our YouTube channel, where we have live commentary of the opening league game of the season for Guernsey, returning to Step 5 for the first time in 9 years. FA Cup disappointment last week, but the best way for the Green Lions to put that behind them is with an opening day win in the league. Delighted to have alongside me a former GFC player, made 140 appearances for the club, Island Games gold medalist, Marathi winner, Tom Strawbridge is alongside me today. Tom, does opening day, is it as exciting for players as it is for supporters?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, this season, new challenge in terms of a different step of football on the English pyramid. Different opposition, completely new opposition. Obviously, this is the first time that they've had a home game at Victoria Park opening day of the league season. So they'll be exciting. They'll be excited. You can't lose your season from here. But you certainly want to be getting off to a good start and on the front foot.
Guernsey, of course, did play at Victoria Park last week, a 1-1 draw with Bedfont in the FA Cup. That has now come to an end, unfortunately, due to a player registration means Guernsey have been withdrawn from the competition. I'll go through the lineups with you while I've got the opportunity. We'll go through the visitors first. A couple of changes from them. Their opening day was a FA Cup 3-2 defeat to VCD Athletic. So they have number 1, Keelan Belcher, 2, Ryan Singers, 3, Oliver Cowdery, 4, Ben Gray, 5, George Bingham, 6, Charlie Robinson, 7, Isaac Glanfield, 8, Aaron Tester, 9, Dave Crouch, 10, Dan Simmons, and 11, Matt Whitehead. On the bench of them, Teddy Stairs, Max Matlack, Remy Penfold, James Thurgar and John Tucker. For Guernsey, a couple of forced changes. Jack Covine with an injury means he can't take part today. Ben Solway is also away, so Tom Dodds comes into the back line and Simon Arnold slots in at right wing back. So the Green Lions have Josh Addison in goal. The back three will be Tom Vodin, Tom Dodds and Jacob Falaise. The wing backs, Brandon Wallace on the left, Simon Arnold on the right. The central midfield pair of Seb Vance and Finn Duport. And then Charlton Govine supporting Sam Murray and Ross Allen. So pretty much as strong as Guernsey could go, minus the injuries, I think, Tom.
Yeah, and it's not a surprise that they're gonna start with the strongest available 11. As the season goes on, that will have to change. There'll have to be some rotation brought in on availability and setting up against different teams, the way they play. But yeah, I think as you say, they've gone as strong as they possibly can.
Congratulations to Tom Vodin, who becomes the latest player to reach a century of appearances for the Green Lions. And we're going to kick off shortly. Guernsey have been made to change ends. Not sure as we get underway. So the FA Cup journey was over as soon as it's begun. Guernsey being disqualified from that competition. But we move on and the season gets underway for real in the league right now. This is the bread and butter. And Guernsey currently in possession at the back with Jacob Falaise. Tom Dodds now has the ball square of him. Out to Brandon Wallace with a bit of space to pick out. He's going to clip the ball early down the line, looking for the run of Charlton Govine. But goalkeeper Keelan Belcher comes out to get it quickly. How did you feel about the Cups, Tom? I'm guessing it was quite exciting to enter them, but obviously we know maybe the Vase is different when it comes to the FA Cup. Exciting to be involved with, but this is where the real bread and butter is.
Yeah, without a doubt, they're exciting to be involved in. They can obviously be slightly poison chalice in terms of the Vase, particularly if you get to a level where you're adding games to your calendar, and certainly for Guernsey where they're travelling on a regular basis, it can become a bit of a poison chalice. But look, great to be involved in. Disappointing, I'm sure the club's very disappointed with what happened last week. But there's benefits to come from that as well.
It's a goal kick to Wick, which they take quickly and take short. Guernsey trying to close them down within their own penalty area, but they have worked their way out of trouble. Ball's hit up towards the halfway line. Forward early by Aaron Tester. That's one for Dan Simmons to chase. Josh Addison is decisive and comes out and clears his lines from the edge of the box, intercepted in midfield, but Seb Vance heads it down into space. Loose ball picked up by Isaac Glanfield. Matt Whitehead now in possession for Wick, goes square into midfield for Gray. Looks for the overlap behind Simon Arnold, and he's slowed down, and it will allow Isaac Glanfield to get there, but his pullback just about reaches a teammate. Wick in possession on the edge of the box. It's hit early towards goal, but it's scooped comfortably wide in the end by Ben Gray. Josh Addison had no issues with that one. Dan Simmons, the player I just mentioned in the move, he scored twice last Saturday for Wick. As I say, they lost 3-2, so they're also out the FA Cup.
Yeah, Wick looked to be playing out from the back. The keeper's not scared to have possession of the ball at his feet, and that attack actually came right from the goal kick.
Guernsey themselves playing out the back now. Just one goal for Guernsey today will take them to 1,000 goals in league competition, not including the playoff semi-final that they contested back in 2014. So standard league competition, we could see 1,000th goal for Guernsey today. Tom Dodds with a useful little scoop out to the left-hand side for Brandon Wallace. Early back to Finn Duport with space in front of him to attack. Might fancy the shot here, He's going to go for it. Test the goalkeeper. It's been punched away. And they will clear their lines. Wick will. Simon Arnold gets the block in, but the ball bounces behind for the goal kick. But the space just opened up for him there.
Yeah, that should be a warning sign for Wick for sure. That you can't let Finn have that much space. Yeah, like you say, he had 10 yards in front of him to travel into. It's a decent strike. Unfortunately, it's straight at the keeper, but it had a bit of wobble about it, and the keeper had to beat it away to his left-hand side. He did okay in the end.
This time they're opting to go long with their goal kick. Keelan Belcher. It's well over the halfway line. It's over the head of Tom Dodds too. Vodin's going to chase that and get there ahead of Glanfield, and he's just hooked that one out of play.
Yeah, that seems to be one of their outballs in the early stages. The Glanfield on the left-hand side, he looks to have a bit of pace about him. So if they are going to go direct, it seems to be down that left at the moment.
We'll keep an eye on that one for sure. So it'll be a bit of a test for Simon Arnold and Tom Vodin. As long as that continues to happen, we will eventually restart with the throw-in. Referee's just telling Whitehead to retreat a little bit. Now he throws it in to Gray on the corner of the penalty area. He's under a bit of pressure, but he's just managed to move the ball forward. Finn Duport gets a clip as he wins the ball back, and Guernsey aren't getting any advantage out of that. And they'll have a free kick on the right-hand side of the penalty box. Didn't mention the substitutes, by the way, for Guernsey. Zach Gilman, Callum Lalasha, Dave Merris, Will Fazakli, and Fraser McGuinness are the five that make up the bench. If Will Fazakli comes on today, it will be his 90th appearance for the club. Return this season after about a year and a half playing locally. Tom Dodds hooks the ball up in the air towards the halfway line. Finn Duport contesting for it. Seb Vance eventually gets ahead on it. Charlton Govine now contesting, and he's caught by, I'm not sure if it was a high foot or him stooping into the foot, really, but either way, Govine's gone down holding his face and will require a minute or so here.
Yeah, no, the foot was high. I don't think it was intentional. The Wick player, I'm not sure who it was, should have gone with his head, really, but hopefully not too much contact and just a free kick.
Govine is still down, so maybe slightly dazed. So Guernsey, if you stretch all the way back to their last appearance at this level at Step 5 in the Combined Counties Premier Division, they went their last 8 games unbeaten at this level. They actually won the last 7 to earn promotion. Might bring back some memories. Tom, you played a little bit in that run-in, and how did you manage to cope with that with the legs?
Yeah, I actually played in all 4 of those last. When it was the bank holiday weekend, I think it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and a few ice baths got us through it. I think that was the famous goal that was not a goal that we scored.
Yeah, on the final day, yeah.
But we got there in the end. Great feeling.
Wallace now with the ball on the left, swings it in early towards the edge of the box, but just dragged it a little bit too much, and Wick are able to hook the ball out for a throw-in deep into Guernsey's half. Brandon Wallace now retreats to take that.
Looks like the intention is for Wick to be playing a back 3 centrally as well, but the wing backs have been quite deep early on, so that it's effectively a back 5 in the early stages. Not surprising away from home.
To throw in again to Guernsey on the halfway line. Ross Allen was just contesting for the ball in the air. He obviously scored the equalising goal for Guernsey against Bedfont Sports last week. A deft touch from the angle to help the ball on. Not had too much involvement from him so far. Sam Murray had a fairly quiet afternoon last week, but he'll want to add to his goal tally. One of only a small handful of Guernsey players to score double figures for the club for 3 seasons in a row. There's a throw into Wick over on the far side, which Cowdrey's gone across to take. thrown down the line, and that one's come off the Wick forward and bounced out for a Guernsey throw this time. Another appearance stat as well is that Jacob Fallais moves on to 137 games today, which takes him clear of Craig Young. They were both on 136 games before today, and that puts Jacob Fallais clear in the top 20 for appearances for Guernsey. So Craig Young, unfortunately now, knocked out the top 20 appearances. But his son Aston has been involved with the development side in pre-season, so the family connection carries on. There could be a chance here for Guernsey. Ross Allen receives the ball in the penalty area, just forced away for now. Plays it back towards Simon Arnold, but it's Tom Voden who picks it up. Good header away. Finn Duport hooks the ball back across goal. I think he was going for the hooked volley shot there, but it's dragged across goal. Brandon Wallace is doing his best to charge down the clearance. Wick do get it away, only as far as Seb Vance. Plays it to his left for Charlton Govine. Back to Brandon Wallace. Back to Govine again, and back with Vance. Guernsey moving the ball around nicely here, trying to move their opponents out of shape. Fallais with the ball in the centre circle, strides forward, looking for options. Goes out to the right-hand side for Simon Arnold. A little bit of time to control it. He's got the overlap from Finn Duport. Opts to cut inside instead. Plays into the penalty area for the feet of Ross Allen, looking for space to turn. Seb Vance takes over. It's taken away from his feet. Early shot from Allen. Takes a block in the penalty area. It's back with Brandon Wallace, so danger still here. Charlton Govine on the edge of the box, looking to move across onto his right foot. In the end, on goes onto his left and just skews it with the outside of his left foot in the end and drags it wide, which is unfortunate, but that was a good sustained spell of pressure from Guernsey there.
Yeah, encouraging signs. It actually started quite a minute or so earlier than that, and down by us in this corner when Brandon Wallace put some real pressure on the defender trying to clear the ball. He managed to actually block the first one, but then sustain the pressure, and Guernsey gained possession midway in the opposition half, and then were able to build a composed attack from there. So yeah, it was good initial work from Brandon to really put some pressure on the clearance.
Ended last season in fantastic form. He's still very young, Brandon Wallace. I think he might still be a teenager. He's been in and out, made a lot of substitute appearances. But his form at the back end of last season not only earned him 5 starts in a row, I think, at the end of the season, but also earned him a starting spot in the Marathi, which Guernsey, of course, won. There's a slight delay here while Matt Whitehead on the far side has a change of either footwear or shin pads for Wick. Can't quite tell from here, so we will restart with the goal kick now. And in fact, the referee's gone over to have a word with the assistant about something. Which will give Whitehead time to sort out his kit, I'm sure, before the goal kick is taken.
I'm not entirely sure what the delay is here, or what the assistant referee had to say. But
no, the referee's heading over back to Matt Whitehead now. So
all this has taken the best part of a minute. So
I don't know whether it's because he walked off the pitch without permission. No, I didn't. I was busy watching the action. Maybe Whitehead decided to step off the pitch when he wasn't supposed before asking the referee to. That might have something to do with it.
I think he actually wanted to stay on the pitch to change his footwear, but the referee told him that he had to leave the field of play. But he's now returned.
Yeah, he's back on the field, but he was playing down the left-hand side, so he's moved across to the right. I don't know whether he's heading down the tunnel for some reason. He's got a smile on his face, so he's had to come all the way across to show the Victoria Park volunteers that he's got the correct footwear on. Obviously, the surface here is quite precious. Fancy 3G surfaces, and players should be wearing the correct footwear. Yeah, which they would have been told about before the game.
That's a new one. He's still off the field of play. The referee will allow him back on now. But yeah, that's a new one on me. That's a bit of a circus for a minute or two.
There's a free kick here for Guernsey. A little bit of a strong contesting in the air from Ryan Singers. So Guernsey have a free kick in a useful position. It's almost in front of where we are. A few yards or so inside from the touchline. Charlton Govine and Brandon Wallace are standing over it. Wallace went on the overlap for the short one, and Govine thought about it, but it's changed his mind.
Yeah, it's still on. It's 2-on-1. But
now in the end, it's scooped down the line by Wallace to Allen. We've seen this free kick many times. Allen's in the penalty area on the byline, hooks the ball across goal. It's headed in, and it's over the top. It's Jacob Fallais that was coming in at the far post, and that was a glorious chance for Guernsey to take the lead. He just got underneath it.
Yeah, as you say, one of Guernsey's standard sort of fullback free kick routines. Ross Allen, dangerous, chopping onto his left foot. I think Jacob just got slightly ahead of the ball with his header and couldn't control it couldn't control it downwards. But encouraging signs.
So another goal kick to Wick to get this started again, but it's not been the liveliest of starts in the world in the opening 12 minutes, but so Guernsey probably had the better of it.
Yeah, and I don't think they've needed to. I don't think they've needed to step it up a gear just yet. They've looked to control the game.
Based on your experience of playing both levels, step 5 and step 4, when you look at a game from a decent angle, is the difference in standard obvious when you played it?
I think it is. There is a reasonable difference in standard. I think the main difference, I think, is that squad size is the depth is stronger in the higher divisions. But make no qualms about it. This is a difficult level of football to play at, and it'd be a difficult league to get out of if that's the ambition.
Guernsey trying to work a chance now again. Charlton Govine to Finn Dupont on the edge of the area. He runs into someone and goes down. The referee ignores those appeals, but it's fallen again to Tom Voden. He slips it into the path of Finn Dupont. This time he does get the free kick, just had his heels clipped 5 yards or so outside the penalty area. So Guernsey have now been given a free kick in a very useful position here.
Yeah, looked like a clear foul. Good decision. Referee was right on top of it. And yeah, this is a dangerous position.
In terms of that standard as well, is it for some to the trained eye? Is it slightly slower, or is it just that the people's touches aren't quite as good, which gives people more, you're likely to close down quicker? Is it just little simple skill factors like that?
Yeah, I think, like I say, you're looking at the overall squad, and you've got more players with that slightly higher technical ability, and that makes a collective difference as opposed to this level.
Guernsey got the free kick now, which Charlton Govine standing over. He's going to have a go. Hits the top of the wall, bounces away. There was a bit of pace on that, so the player in question who made the block with his head, Charlie Robinson, had to have a bit of a scratch of the head there just to make sure all his senses were still there. Struck well enough. It was just a few inches higher, would have troubled the goalkeeper. Guernsey have a throw in on the far side near the halfway line. They are kicking towards the track end in the first half.
Yeah, free kick was one of those where it's slightly too close to get it up and down, so you've got to be quite accurate. He was just, and he didn't miss it by much, but just slightly too low.
Slightly overhit crossfield pass towards Brandon Wallace means it's going to be a throw into Wick in their right back position. Ryan Singers will take. Josh Addison not had too much to do yet, just had to be alert to come off his line a couple of times to sweep up. Singers takes a throw and lobs the ball up the line. It's a good flick on by Tester, but Simmons couldn't get on the end of it, and Jacob Fallais will pick the ball up. This players have gone to close down the goalkeeper, Addison, which means Fallais has time to pick a pass out instead. He goes across the area. Could have been slightly risky, but he does find Voden, who goes back to Josh Addison.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. It was a really intelligent press from Wick, closing down the keeper, like you say, but then as soon as Jacob turned with composed possession, they backed off anyway. So
slightly heavy touch from Charlton Govine controlling Tom Dodds' pass, and Wick have the ball back in midfield. And the ball all the way back to Charlie Robinson, who under pressure has to go back to Belcher, the goalkeeper. Sam Murray goes to close it down, but Belcher keeps his composure and just knocks the ball around him. Back to Robinson. And Wick do eventually work their way out of trouble and go long and go safe. Simmons will chase, but that one goes through all the way to Josh Addison.
Yeah, and that was from some really sustained pressure there. First Sam Murray on the goalkeeper, and then Ross Allen working really hard and eventually forced that long clearance that gives Guernsey possession once again.
Addison has the ball in the D on the edge of his area. He goes left and square for Tom Dodds, who remained on the bench last season, so this is his first appearance outside of friendlies. Finn Dupont now goes down under the challenge of Singer, so Guernsey have a free kick which they take quickly, and Charlton Govine sets off down the left over the halfway line. Ross Allen's trying to run in behind. Charlton Govine is eventually floored and then kicks out a little bit in frustration, and unfortunately the free kick's now gone the other way. Allen just wanted the ball released that little bit quicker into his path there.
Yeah, I think I've seen that the same as the official. I think Charlton tried to initiate some contact there, and there wasn't really enough for a foul, and then a bit of frustration. He's gone the other way.
So free kick in the right back position for Wick, which will be taken by Bingham. Clips the ball up towards the halfway line. That should be an easy win for Jacob Fallais, and his header as far as Singer. So the ball's up in the air once again. This time Tom Voden with the interception, and it falls kindly for Brandon Wallace. Thinks about the ball down the line, opts to keep the possession though by going back to Tom Dodds instead. Dodds with the switcher play out to the right-hand side for Vodin, who's got a bit of space in front of him. Simon Arnold is available. Vodin gives it to Arnold, who then goes back to Finn Duport. Guernsey being patient, not trying to force it, waiting for the openings. Ball forward though, this time is intercepted. Gray takes over and moves the ball on, and then it'll go out to the left-hand side towards Glanfield, but Finn Duport reads that well and intercepts, and an early ball down the line for Sam Murray to chase. Goalkeeper comes all the way out, and he'll get there first, so his clearance takes the ball out of play for a Guernsey throw, which they want to take quickly. Simon Arnold lobs it across to Charlton Govine, controls it with his thigh, can't quite find Ross Allen. Once again, Wick half clearing the ball, but Guernsey keep picking it up in midfield and in defence and coming back at them. Tom Dodds now with the ball on the halfway line, and he can drive forward. Brandon Wallace is available to his left. It's into the path of Wallace. That's a nicely weighted pass for a first-time cross. Clips it in, headed away as far as the edge of the penalty area, hooked on by a defender. Simmons helps the ball down to Dave Crouch, but he didn't seem to have any idea that there was no one in front of him and just passed it straight back to Guernsey's back line.
Yeah, really good pressure from Guernsey FC out of possession, which means they are regaining it really quickly, really sharply, forcing errors from Wick. So yeah, they've built their way into the game nicely, both in possession and out of possession. And in possession, they just need to continue their patience, and the openings will start to come, I think.
Tom Dodds with the ball now, moves it again out to Brandon Wallace. Those two combining a lot in the last couple of minutes or so. Brandon Wallace with a little step over, doesn't fool Ryan Singers though, who is able to get the ball away. Govine picks up the loose ball and goes back to Addison. So this is going to be the sort of pattern we're going to see for most of the game. Wick just trying to hang on in there for as long as they can.
Yeah, understandably so. You know that they won't be used to the travel that they've had to do today. Early start to the day.
Here's Wallace again, seen plenty of the ball in this opening 19 minutes. Goes inside for Finn Duport, who plays it into the path of Tom Vodin, who's got space to move into. Goes out wide for Simon Arnold. His first time cross is over hit, but it might be picked up on the far side. Charlton Govine takes over. Chance is still alive, and Govine plays it off his man for a Guernsey throw. Wallace throws it to the feet of Ross Allen, who shields it from his man and slips a lovely ball through to Charlton Govine. The chance could open up for him. It's a good block from Robinson on the corner of the 6-yard box. Charlton Govine just trying to pick out the far corner, but another good chance for Guernsey.
Yeah, like I say, those openings are going to keep happening. They're not forcing it. They're being nice and patient, and stepping up the intensity when they need to in attack. Looking like they might go short here. No, Ross has moved on now.
It's going to be Charlton Govine with the in-swinger. Clips one in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's come off the leg of a Wick player and cleared away. Tom Dodds will contest for the loose ball. Finn Duport now picks it up, and he needs to move it on before he's closed down, and he does get the ball back to Addison. Duport did get clipped at the same time, so it will be a free kick to Guernsey over by the visitors' dugout on the far side. That's just what they'll have to be wary of, because if they keep their numbers back Wick, then Guernsey are naturally going to push players forward. So there's always that slight worry of gaps left on the break.
Yeah, there's been a couple of times where that's happened. The shape's quite intelligent though. I think I've seen Finn Duport a couple of times just drop in there when players have committed forward.
Early ball forward from Addison, headed away by Robinson. Simon Arnold gets a useful touch to keep the ball for Guernsey. Seb Vance plays it into the path of Govine. Early ball out to Brandon Wallace, who's got space to maybe pick a cross out if he wants to. He's going to attack the fullback instead. Cuts in onto his right foot, shows a little bit too much of it to Robinson, but Ross Allen actually picks up the loose ball into the area. Back to Seb Vance. Now Finn Duport's going to go for goal. He could have slipped the ball out wide to Simon Arnold maybe. He just didn't wrap his foot around it, and it's a harmless shot that's gone quite far wide in the end.
Yeah, I think he probably needed to recognise he was off balance there, and he was probably never going to get a clean strike away, and perhaps should have moved the ball on and then waited for another opportunity. But still, all encouraging signs at this stage of the game, early stage.
So another goal kick for Wick then. So they did their very first one was trying to play out at the back, maybe just a bit of a tester to see what Guernsey's press was like. But ever since then, they've opted to go long. Belcher's ball over the halfway line. Tom Dodds wins the header. It bounces off his marker and drops for Brandon Wallace. First time ball hooked forward for Ross Allen. Has the ball just taken off him by Gray, but his ball forward, not the greatest, and Seb Vance mops up. He gets the ball back from Jacob Fallais out to the left for Brandon Wallace in the left-back position. He's got space to run into. Stops on the halfway line. Again, Guernsey being patient, not forcing the openings. Now clips the ball down the line. Sam Murray had made a run, but not enough on the ball. Singer with the interception and early up into the feet of Simmons. Trying to find his strike partner, Crouch, but Guernsey win the ball back again. Cowdrey now clears his lines. Jacob Fallais chests the ball across to Tom Dodds, whose first time ball cushions it back to Josh Addison. Addison with a low pass. Tom Dodds steps over it and lets it roll all the way to Brandon Wallace. Ross Allen asking for the ball into the channel, but it goes square instead to Finn Duport. Duport plays it into the feet of Govine. Nice turn to keep the ball away from Robinson into the path of Simon Arnold. Down by the corner flag on the far side. Just held up momentarily. Plays the ball towards Finn Duport, who gets underneath it as he tries to clip the ball. Not sure if he was going for goal there or trying to hook the ball into the area. Either way, too much on it. Got underneath it, well over the bar.
Yeah, I think it was the right idea, actually. I mean, the execution wasn't quite there, but the idea was there. Simon Arnold could have perhaps put in the ball first time over on the right-hand side. But again, I like the patience, the fact that he cut back in and passed it on to Finn. As I say, he tried to play the right ball. It was, unfortunately, the execution just wasn't quite there. It's interesting. You make a good point about the goal kicks. I think that's credit to Guernsey's sustained collective press that they've been doing early, that they forced them into this.
We're past the halfway point of the first half now. 23 minutes gone. Goal kick again from Wick is a long one and picked up by the Guernsey back line. Brandon Wallace now has the ball at left back, turns on it and drives forward over the halfway line. Wick took a little too long to press him there. Goes square for Duport, who then goes into the centre circle for Jacob Fallais. Guernsey just trying to move their opponents about rather than go straight for the jugular. It's down the line for Simon Arnold. Slightly heavy touch from him, though. And rather than the throw-in, I think the assistant's suggesting that Arnold was offside anyway. So we're actually going to get a free kick. Guernsey again collecting the long ball forward. Seb Vance plays it back to Fallais. Then Tom Bowden goes back to Josh Addison. Addison with the ball in the penalty area, clips it up towards the halfway line. Charlton Govine will contest with it, and he does get enough on it to help it on over Singer to Murray. Murray cushions it down for Wallace, who just hooks it towards Charlton Govine. Singer's alert to the danger though and hooks it away for a throw-in.
He's so good at those headers, Charlton Govine, in the middle of the park, where he looks like he doesn't have any right to get to the ball, but he's a great timer of his jump and a great header of the ball.
So Guernsey with the throw-in on the halfway line. Wallace nearly gets it back from Allen, but challenge came in from Glanfield to knock the ball out for another throw. Thrown back to Dodds, who goes square for Addison, who's able to come quite far out of his penalty area to collect the ball under no real pressure. Now Vodin, the latest Centurion, back to Addison. Addison at walking pace at the moment, just waiting for the openings. Ross Allen's dropped all the way into the back line to maybe pick up a short ball. It goes over the top instead. Finn Duport would run onto it. Loose ball will be picked up though by Simon Arnold. Tries to play it back into the path of Charlton Govine. Didn't quite get it right though, and Whitehead will get the ball away up the line for Wick. It's over the head of Simmons though and picked up by Fallais into the feet of Seb Vance, who will move the ball forward. Charlton Govine with a bit of space. Got several options in front of him. Clips the ball into the area. Brought down by Sam Murray. It's cleared away, though, only as far as Brandon Wallace might have a go here. Little drop of the shoulder. Gets him past his man. Clips the ball into the area. It's gone over the goalkeeper, headed away from the far post. Not quite sure who the defender was, but a really dangerous ball in there from Brandon Wallace. Caused all sorts of problems. Wick just about dealt with it.
Yeah, did well in the end. I actually thought there might have been a foul on the goalkeeper. Whilst the cross was a really good one from Brandon Wallace, right under the crossbar, and they did well to clear it. But yeah, I did think there might have been a foul on the goalkeeper, but not given.
It's a clever play by Wallace as well. He was shaping up to knock the ball, to have a shot first time, I think, when it came across to him. But just a little dip of the shoulder, got him past and round his fullback. Guernsey have a throw in their own half now. Seb Vance gives it back to Simon Arnold. He's under a bit of pressure, and the ball is poked towards Simmons in the penalty area. Guernsey got to be a little bit careful here. He's just trying to hold the ball up, plays it into the path. And it was Aaron Tester with the shot in the end, but wasn't really troubling Josh Addison. He scooped it wide of the post. But that's just a sign that Guernsey's just got to be a little bit careful. It's not going to be all easy today. Brandon Wallace driving forward now, well over the half line and deep into the area, but he's just held onto it a bit too long and run into a crowd. Wick hooked the ball away, but only as far as Tom Dodds, picked up by Finn Duport. He too has time and space to try and pick something out. Decides to go high and long to the other side of the field. Switches play well for Simon Arnold. He hooks the ball past Matt Whitehead. Can't quite hit the early cross. He's just forced to check into the path of Seb Vance, though. He's in the edge of the penalty area. Needs someone to lay it off to. And it's just pinched off his feet by Gray. And Wick, again, just clear the ball out. They're just happy to get the ball away, aren't they? They're not really looking for an outlet when they go long.
Yeah, and again, you know, as much as Guernsey FC do deserve credit for that, they probably do need to try and get a bit more time on the ball. Wick, if they won't be able to sustain this level of pressure throughout, so I think they do need to try and put their foot on the ball. It's very much a back five from them now. The wing backs are certainly not going forward.
Wallace this time does clip the ball down the line early. Sam Murray trying to put a bit of pressure on Bingham, who goes back to the goalkeeper. Murray still chasing it down. The pass forward does find Gray. Goalkeeper remained composed under pressure, and then it was helped on into the path of Glanfield, who's got some space to attack for the first time down that left-hand side. He held up briefly by Seb Vance, who's got to be careful not to bring him down, and Glanfield with the low shot just clipped the heels of Jacob Fallais, which helped it rebound into the path of Josh Addison, who can take as much time as he needs because he's not being closed down.
Yeah, that was a good little move actually from Wick. The goalkeeper managed to pick out, I think it was Ben Gray in the middle of the park, and he turned nicely, and then set Glanfield free. So, you know, like you say, the warning signs are there. Guernsey FC need to be on it.
First time ball inside from Finn Duport is slightly slack one and enabled Wick to win the ball in midfield, but Josh Addison is alert to keep the ball forward away from goal, but Tom Dodds unable to keep it in on the touchline, so it's going to be a throw in. Midway inside Guernsey's half, down Wick's right. Thrown into the penalty area for Glanfield, who's come across to this right-hand side now. It's back with Tester. He's forced away from goal, just looking for options. His ball out towards Singer's a poor one. Brandon Wallace is able to hook the ball away. Headed back from whence it came by Robinson. They're still on the ball here. Wick goes out to the right-hand side again for Singer. He's got a bit more space. Knocks it back for Tester, whose early ball's clipped into the area. But nowhere near a white shirt.
No, and I think they can probably be a bit more patient. They had finally had a bit of composed possession there, Wick, and it ended up being a nothing ball. But I think they can probably try and retain some more composed possession to get back into the game a little bit.
Allen with a useful ball down the line for Arnold, who plays it first time into the path of Govine. He heads to the byline. His ball across, though, is a good sliding challenge from Cowdery to prevent the cross. They eventually clear their lines. Wick, I think Wick are wearing Guernsey FC socks, because I think they normally play in white shirts, black shorts, white socks, but because Guernsey now wearing white socks with their home kit, they look like GFC socks that Wick have been forced to change into. Just a minor point. Wallace has possession now. Swings the ball in. That should be one for the goalkeeper. There's a bit of a mix-up in there. Sam Murray's gone up and is appealed for the corner and gets the corner. Half an hour gone. Guernsey 0, Wick 0 still. You're listening live on the Guernsey FC YouTube channel to Guernsey's, we'll call it opening day, because it's the first game of the league season. Guernsey now playing at step 5 after relegation last year. It's their first time at this level for 9 years. But a new chapter has begun for the Green Lions. Charlton Govine has gone across to take it. Seb Vance is hanging around in the D on the edge of the box. He's gone in now, but Ross Allen instead pulls back. Everyone's gone down in the area. Ross Allen hooks it towards goal. Goalkeeper gets a touch, and it's in the back of the net for Guernsey. And would you believe it? It's Guernsey's Centurion with his first goal for the club. Tom Bowden tucks in the opening goal for Guernsey to mark 100 appearances. And it's Guernsey 1, Wick 0 just after the half hour. One of Guernsey's routines pays off.
Yeah, and I think it's not more than they deserve. They have been on top in the first half an hour, which they'll be really pleased with. As you say, one of their go-to corner routines, low into the box. It ricocheted around a bit, but caused some problems.
Guernsey are off and running in the Southern Combination Premier Division, and it's one of the most unlikely sources, I think. Looking around Guernsey's 11, out of the outfield players, of course, Addison not counting. He was the only one out of them who hadn't scored a goal for the club yet. So the best way possible to mark his 100th appearance is to get the opening goal. and Guernsey now are off and running. And this will be interesting to see, Tom, I guess, how what changes we might see from Wick now. Maybe not straight away, but they now have to be more adventurous as the game goes on.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be interesting. I don't know. Obviously, I don't know much about them and what they've got in terms of options on the bench for later in the game. But I think for now, they probably want to be looking at getting into half time, certainly not conceding any other goals. And then they can take a break and refresh from there and think about their plans for the second half. But yeah, Guernsey will be happy with their first half an hour, and you know they haven't created a huge amount of clear-cut chances, but the territory they've had is certainly has built that pressure and earned them the lead.
Guernsey have a throw-in in their right-back position now. Of course, it means they can remain patient. They don't need to get more desperate in their attacking play as the game goes on. And an attempt to try and catch Josh Addison out from distance flies well over the top. So Guernsey now have a goal kick. Guernsey happy to build from the back themselves, of course. A very short goal kick given to Jacob Fallais inside the Guernsey penalty area. He strides forward. He's got a marker chasing him at the moment, but keeps possession and moves it out to the right-hand side for Simon Arnold. He skips past the challenge of Matt Whitehead, who does try and hold him back. The referee originally gave the advantage, and then a second challenge comes in on Arnold, which I don't know if the referees pulled it back for the first one or given the second one, but Guernsey with a free kick just inside the right touchline, almost level with the penalty area. Another very useful opportunity for them here.
Yeah, it looked like the second one to me. Potential for a caution there, but the referees decided to manage it a different way. Yeah, good position for a free kick now. I think we can all expect some sort of routine here.
Charlton Govine is the player standing over it. Players lined up in a similar way to how they did for the corner. So Seb Vance is hanging around the D. Brandon Wallace a little bit further back. We might see another curved run from Ross Allen, maybe. It's scooped towards the near post and it's headed on, and it's 2-0 to Guernsey. And we really do have lift-off. Finn Dupont with a glancing header from Charlton Govine's free kick. 2 goals in a space of a couple of minutes for Guernsey. And they are well in control of this game. A really good run from deep from Finn Dupont, just flicking the ball on into the corner.
Yeah, what a delivery into the box that was by Charlton Govine. There's me thinking that there perhaps might have been a pull across the edge of the 18-yard box for a strike. And no, it was a simple case of cross to the front post. Glance header by Finn Dupont. Great ball, great header. Yeah, Guernsey will be really happy about that. And Wick really will now need to go back to the drawing board and think about what their plan's going to be for the rest of the game.
Well, it's like rolling back the years watching, isn't it? In the step above, it wasn't very often you saw Guernsey kind of dominate a game and cruise into a 2-0 lead. Wick have now restarted the game and the ball is back with Belcher. Bingham with neat feet to take him around Charlton Govine. And the ball is played up towards the halfway line. Jacob Fallais the interception. Now Guernsey really got the wind in their sails. Jacob Fallais now charging forward. He's now had the ball pinched off him though, and it's been cleared out for a throw-in on the far side. Simon Arnold can't quite keep the ball in. In fact, the offside flag has gone up. The referee's chosen to ignore the flag and give the throw-in. So he's just acknowledged to the assistant referee that he did see the flag. And now he's unhappy with something else. So we'll have a slight delay here. He has, in fact, he's changed his mind. He has given the free kick after all. It looked like he'd decided to ignore the assistant referee.
Yeah, the player in offside position there challenged for the ball, which whilst he didn't touch it, he challenged for it, and that made him become active. So correct decision.
Dodds into Wallace on the left-hand side. Again, he's got a bit of space to pick out across. Plays it low. It's behind Charlton Govine, unfortunately. The clearance away hits their own player. It might drop here for Allen. Didn't quite get the contact he wanted on the volley. It bounced off the back of Sam Murray in the end and looped towards Belcher to collect. He bowls the ball out to the right-back position where it's picked up by George Bingham. He goes down the line for Tester. He's forced to retreat and go back to Bingham again. Slight slip by Robinson, but he does manage to retain possession. Gives it back to Belcher in goal. Under pressure from Ross Allen, goes high up towards the halfway line. Headed inside by Singer. That's a useful touch onto Crouch, who tried to just hook it over the head of Fallais for the run of Simmons. Didn't quite have enough height on it. Guernsey to clear their lines. Hooked forward again by Bingham. Fallais had to be careful there. Did get enough on it to hook the ball away and find Tom Dodds, who under pressure does really well now to find Brandon Wallace, who strides forward towards the halfway line, forced to check and go back to Dodds. Dodds with the switch of play for today's opening goal scorer, Tom Vodin. Vodin down the line to Allen. He retreats into midfield under pressure, holds on the ball well, goes back to Vodin. Charlton Govine offering the square option, but Vodin thinks the ball towards the edge of the area. Murray gets a touch on it. It drops down quite handily for Finn Duport. Turns and got a nice volley at goal, which would have caused it was a decent block in the end, but the referee's stopped just because it looks like there's a head injury a few yards outside of the penalty area to one of the Wick players.
Yeah, I think whilst he gets treatment, it's a chance for Wick to sort of compose themselves here. I'm not sure what the restart is actually, but yeah, they showed those early signs of potential breakaways down the left-hand side. I think it was Granfield that got away a few times there, but they've really been stifled of that in the last 20 minutes or so, and so they'll need to, like I say, think about what their outballs are, how they want to contain possession that Guernsey FC are currently controlling.
Guernsey just taking the opportunity to have a quick drinks break. It's been quite a warm day. There is a slight breeze out on the pitch at Victoria Park. But the sun is shining, barely a cloud in the sky. The real test, all the games we've had here so far have been in nice weather. It'll be interesting to see what's going to happen in the winter, in the wind and the rain and the cold. Most of the fans are able to gather in the large Garren stand at Foots Lane. There's people who are a little bit more exposed here.
Yeah, I mean, for the players, they'll probably welcome a bit of cooler weather as the winter months come in. It's particularly the 3G pitches. They do get the pitch temperature is a few degrees higher than you'd get with a grass pitch. So that and obviously the other added benefit of the winter months is that a bit of rain will help slicken up the surface as well, which Guernsey clearly wanting to play. So that'll help their style, I think.
It's actually a bleeding nose the player here for Wick has got. So he's it's the defender George Bingham who's forced to go off. The physio is taking him off and just jogging back to the physio room to find something to stop the bleeding. Does the atmosphere feel different? Obviously, you're not on the pitch, of course, but you've been on this pitch during a big game for the Marathi as one of the officials. Does the atmosphere feel different because without a big athletics track and like wide open spaces around the ground?
Yeah, it feels like a proper football ground. For me, it's just as exciting to have the sort of terraces behind the goal, which it makes it feel like a proper football ground. Ability to create an atmosphere. The Marathi atmosphere was exceptional.
Well, we're starting here with Guernsey being given the ball back, and in fact, they're not being made to give it back to Wick. They've been able to play on. As it is, they didn't go for goal. They went back to Tom Vodin to rebuild. Simon Arnold with the ball on the right-hand side, back to Vodin. Back to Fallais. Early hook forward, which Sam Murray will chase, but he's beaten to it by Oliver Cowdery. The Wick player who's off, I think, is going to be forced to change his shirt here. George Bingham's going to become number 18 for the rest of the game. Charlton Govine in possession for Guernsey. His shot takes a deflection, falls for Finn Duport, trying to work a bit of space for himself. Govine hits it. It's bounced off a defender back to Ross Allen. Now he's looking for a bit of help. He goes out to the left-hand side towards Brandon Wallace. Not quite enough on it. The clearance, though, is only as far as Tom Dodds, who gives it back to Brandon Wallace, who's got time to pick a cross out here. Hooks a high one towards the far post. I think lack of communication maybe in the Wick back line, because Whitehead probably could have let that one drift out for the goal kick, but he's stuck his head on it and put it behind.
Yeah, either didn't get the information or didn't hear the information there. Guernsey gets a bonus corner out.
It looks like Bingham is going to be allowed to continue to wear his number 5 shirt. He wants to come back on the pitch before the corner's taken.
He'll need to be checked by the referee. So.
Referee's gone to check on Bingham, and understandably, he does want to come back on before the corner's taken because he's one of their centre backs. Oh, now he's now told the referee's now told him he has got to change his shirt. So George Bingham, who was the number 5, is now number 18. And he will be allowed to go and help his team out of this corner. Charlton Govine will take, clips it across. It's quite a dangerous one right under the crossbar. I'm not sure that's what he was aiming for, but it was Keelan Belcher was forced to pluck the ball out from under his own crossbar and hits a high one up towards Simmons. Josh Addison's got to read this well and does.
Yeah, did well. It was like a faded golf drive, that corner. The keeper did really well in the end to get both hands on it and catch it.
Guernsey now have the ball on the right-hand side. A few players out of position at the moment from chasing back, but so Brandon Wallace was temporarily in the right-back position. He's now heading back across the pitch now that Josh Addison has possession. In fact, Finn Duport told him to wait for a little bit. So Wallace will remain a temporary right-back. Addison hooks the ball forward, intercepted by Cowdery, who volleys it high towards the corner flag. And Tom Vodin just getting his body in the way to prevent the attacker getting there and keeping it in. So Guernsey have the goal kick, and now all Guernsey's personnel will be able to return to where they were meant to be. So we've got 2 minutes plus injury time in the first half. Guernsey leading 2-0. Tom Vodin and Finn Duport scoring for Guernsey. 2 goals within the space of 3 minutes, just after the half hour, after they dominated the opening half hour. So fully deserved lead. Brandon Wallace tries to play the ball into the path of Govine. It's intercepted by Robinson. Murray tries to stop him striding out of defence zone. He's done a pretty good job here, Sam Murray. In fact, he's now so close to winning the ball back for Guernsey. Tested just about gets away and plays the ball onto the halfway line. Intercepted there by Jacob Fallais. It might open up for him. He might fancy a shot. No, tries to play it into Allen instead. And that pass is intercepted, which means Wick can come away with the ball again. Although good pestering by Jacob Fallais means it's only going to be a throw-in for Wick on the far side.
Yeah, a couple of times Jacob's done that now in terms of reading the play forwards, reading the pass and stepping in front of the attacker, and then that allows him to surge 15 yards forward and put some pressure on.
Whitehead with the throw-in up the line. But Guernsey win it back well, although the pass just about finds Charles Govine. It was a little bit loose there. Little turn into the centre circle from Govine. Needs to move the ball on. He's hung on for it for too long, and this could present a chance here for Wick. They've wasted it, really. They've taken too long to move the ball forward, and Ollie Gray in the end is crowded out. He had a chance to slot Simmons through straight away there, and they would have been in. But as it happens, Guernsey got away with it.
Yeah, and those are the fine margins. It was an opportunity just to touch and pass. And Simmons had quite a bit of space up there. But unfortunately, the extra touch from Gray.
Fallais hooks a ball down the line high over his head out towards the touch line. Seb Vance can't quite keep it in, so it will be a throw-in for Wick about midway inside the half on the far side. Throwing quickly towards the corner to the penalty area to Gray by Whitehead. Wick still in possession. Back to Whitehead, early ball in, and it's just a little bit too far in front of Simmons and floats through to Josh Addison. Just got a few seconds left of the first 45. We will have 2 or 3 minutes added on at least, I would imagine. We've had a couple of stoppages. Guernsey in possession now on the right-hand side. Simon Arnold moves forward, cuts inside, just knocks it into the path of Murray. Useful first touch for Vance. He plays it inside. Just Charlton Govine let the ball just go under his foot there. I think he was hoping it was going to roll onto Wallace, but it was intercepted. The chance is gone for the time being for Guernsey. And good pressure, though, from Guernsey to win it back. Govine down the line to Ross Allen. He's got Sam Murray in the middle. It's an early cross from Allen, just a little bit too much on it. I think he just couldn't quite hook it quite back into the path of Sam Murray. 4 minutes have been added on. We've had a few seconds of that already. And it's a throw-in on the far side for Wick. So Guernsey would hopefully maybe a chance to grab one more before half-time.
Yeah, that seems about right for the stoppage time. As you say, there's been a bit of stop-start, the blood injury, the head injury in the middle of the park, and obviously the boot change, which took about 2 minutes.
Tom Vodin has the ball in the right-back position now for Guernsey, who will be content to keep possession till half-time, I'm sure. Jacob Fallais now has it for the Green Lions. Driven forward towards the goalkeeper, and in all the excitement of the 2 goals, yeah, it did pass us by. We mentioned it before the game that Guernsey now scored 1,000 league goals. If you don't include the playoff semi-final, Isthmian playoff semi-final, which they lost 3-2 to Leatherhead back in 2014 in regular league competition, Tom Vodin's goal was Guernsey's 1,000th in the league. So Duport taking us on to 1,001, so a nice little milestone there. Wick, incidentally, as well, are the 115th different opponent for Guernsey in their relatively short history. This that's one of the exciting things. Obviously, disappointing for them to go down, but it's opened up a new chapter for Guernsey. Really, lots of new teams to play, a new young squad, bar 2 or 3 of the old heads.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's the challenge for playing for Guernsey FC anyway. Is the challenge of opposition that you don't know about. It's very different to Island Life football, and it's been a huge positive influence on Island football over the last 10, 11 years.
Guernsey just restarting with a goal kick now. A shot from Ben Gray from distance, just drifted harmlessly wide. Had 2 minutes of the fort. Brandon Wallace clips the ball forward, and it might drop here for Govine as the goalkeeper. Well, it's good defending in the end. It was Cowdrey just getting his body in the way to stop Govine running onto it, and would have got there ahead of the goalkeeper otherwise. So Guernsey do have the ball back. Simon Arnold coming forward down the right-hand side. Ross Allen pointing for the ball to his feet, but Arnold cuts inside instead and eventually runs into traffic, and it's hooked away. Tom Dodds is going to be under a bit of pressure here from Simmons, who was originally in an offside position, according to the assistant referee, whose decision doesn't go too well with the opposition bench, but I'm sure he's heard far worse.
Looked like a fairly straightforward one to me. Perhaps they're disappointed that he delayed it, but yeah, he was just making sure that the player in an offside position was going to go and challenge for the ball.
Addison with the free kick, clip forward towards Govine, tried to scoop it on into the path of Murray, but it's actually worked out quite well for Govine. His shot is blocked. Murray might come to him on the edge of the box, tries to help it towards goal. It's deflected into the path of Wallace. There's a chance for bits to be squeezed in. How has that not gone in the back of the net? 2 players sliding in. Ross Allen and Sam Murray were both there, about a yard out. And I think both of them got some sort of touch on it, but maybe got in each other's way. And Belcher able to pick the ball up on the goal line. And the quick counter-attack again. Stopped briefly by Guernsey, but there's going to be a chance here. And it's the first effort on target for Wick. It's Dave Crouch who just tried to help the ball towards goal, but Josh Addison able to get on the end of that, but not sure how that one didn't go in at the other end, Tom.
No, I'd like to see it again. I think, like you say, I think it's probably a combination of them getting in each other's way, but the both of them had the goal at their mercy, just the goalkeeper there.
And there is the end of the first half, and it couldn't have gone too much better for Guernsey. They've controlled the first half. They've been on top. They've had almost all of the ball. And they lead by 2-0. The goals, it took them, they had to be patient. They had to wait half an hour or so. But the first one coming from Tom Voden, marking his 100th appearance for the club with his first goal, which was also Guernsey's 1,000th league goal. And one became 2 just 3 minutes later as Govine's free kick was met with a glancing header from Finn Duport across goal into the far corner. So Guernsey lead here 2-0 at half-time. Pretty fair scoreline, you think, Tom?
Yeah, I think so. Guernsey have controlled possession, out of possession. They've done a really intelligent collective press. And they're good value for their 2-0 lead. Look, they shouldn't be complacent about that. Wick will no doubt have to change a few things at half time and early in the second half. And the old cliche of 2-0 being a dangerous scoreline may ring true. So that look, it's not job done; it's job half done. And they really need to make sure that that second half they sustain that high level, that high standard that they've set themselves.
So we're just going to take a short break for the halftime interval. We won't close the stream down. We're just going to go on mute. This is a very new system for us, so we haven't sorted out any graphics or music to play during halftime. So don't go anywhere. If you're hearing silence for a few minutes, we'll be back in 15 minutes or so for the second half. But here at Victoria Park, so far so good. Guernsey's return to Step 5 is going well. We'll be back with you shortly. It's Guernsey 2, Wick 0. Welcome back, everyone, to the second half of this live commentary on the Guernsey FC YouTube channel, where it's opening day from a league perspective, that is, in the Southern Combination Premier Division. Guernsey leading Wick by 2-0. Both teams are back out for the second half. Tom, obviously, Wick will have had half time to maybe regather. They were severely outplayed in the first half in terms of Guernsey's sustained spell of possession. Only the one shot on target for them. Just hope for more of the same from Guernsey, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly not taking their foot off the gas. They've got plenty of options to keep things fresh from the bench. I think it'd be interesting to see how Wick do set up second half, if they're happy to maintain the same shape or if they make some changes. It doesn't look like there's any personnel changes so far, but yeah, interested to see what the shape looks like.
We are back underway now, so Guernsey attacking the coast, we'll say, kicking towards the east coast. Left to right as we look at it from the main stand, wearing green shirts, white shorts, white socks. Wick wearing white shirts, black shorts, and what we think are Guernsey green socks. We think they turned up with their white, and the referee obviously doesn't want both teams to have the same. Guernsey trying to win the ball back in midfield, but the referee has given a free kick the other way.
Early signs look like they might have gone from a what was really effectively a back five to a back four, but it's hard to tell in the early stages. But that may be the first obvious change.
I think you're right, because Bingham, the player who was wearing number 5, is now wearing 18 because of blood on his shirt, who was one of the 3 centre backs, appears to be playing as a holding midfielder now. So I think it's more of a 4-2-3-1. Yeah, and they've changed shape slightly, and
I think that's a necessary change for them. They had to do something. As it stands, they're walking away or flying away from Guernsey with no points. So I think a change to try and spark a bit of life into their performance is a good thing.
Guernsey have got a free kick. Just Finn Duport just had his heels clipped on the edge of the centre circle in Guernsey's half. So Jacob Falaise will take a free kick for Guernsey. Brandon Wallace is offering the short option, but Addison Falaise opts to go towards Charlton Govan in the end, and there's been a foul in there, so Wick have the free kick.
Also interested to see how Guernsey change, if they're happy now to try and control possession and lower the risk, or if they want to keep pushing on and really put the game to bed.
Well, certainly from a supporter perspective, it's a long time because of playing at a more difficult level. It's a long time since we've seen Guernsey really hammer a team. So it'd be nice to see, nothing personal against Wick. Maybe it'll be happening in another game. But we really want to see a few solid, strong wins from Guernsey this season.
Yeah, and I think that should be the mentality. I don't think they should take the foot off the gas.
Gray driving forward now. He's got Seb Vance for company. And he eventually wiggles his way past Seb Vance and clips the ball into the area, but straight into the midriff of Josh Addison. He's tried to fire the ball across towards the far post. Addison with a quick kick out towards Brandon Wallace, just a little bit too far in front of him. So that will roll out for the Wick throw just inside their own half. The wind has picked up a little bit in the stand, certainly. It doesn't look like it's having too much impact in the certain areas of the pitch at the moment. Now it's a throw in for Guernsey as a hook forward drifts out of play. Wallace will take for Guernsey just inside his own half. Most of Guernsey's best play seemed to come down the left in the first half.
Yeah, absolutely. Brandon, as I say, out of possession, was putting on some real good pressure, and then gaining possession back quite quickly. And in sustained plays, they looked out to him as an outball as well.
Ross Allen picks a loose ball up in midfield and plays it forward into the path of Charlton Govan to chase, and he's actually going to get there. He was second favourite to get to it. He's got past Oliver Cowdery, plays into the area square for Finn Duport. First time hit, might drop here for Ross Allen. Desperate challenge in the middle, just about hooks the ball away. Seb Vance keeps possession for Guernsey and heads it out towards Brandon Wallace on the left-hand side. Something almost opened up for Guernsey there. Tom Dodd's ball just about finds Wallace. He'll put a high ball into the box, headed away by Cowdery. And then Whitehead clears the ball up the line where it bounces out for a throw-in on the halfway line for Guernsey.
Yeah, Charlton had no right really to win that ball down the right hand side, but you could see every stride he was closing and then eventually leading the defender, and he did really well. Created a good opportunity actually, which probably should have resulted in something more than it did.
Addison now with the ball in the D on the edge of the Guernsey box, rolls it to his left for Dodds. The wind has picked up on the pitch now. You can see the corner flags blurring around a bit. Finn Duport now over the halfway line. He has his heels clipped. And it's going to be a free kick to Guernsey. And it wouldn't surprise me if we were to see the first yellow card of the game here for Ben Gray. Just clipped the heels of Finn Duport as he was trying to break into the Wick half. And there is that first yellow.
Yeah, looked a clear caution to me there. It's not so much the challenge itself, but the position on the pitch was preventing a promising attack. So I think that's what's earned him the caution there.
Well, there's Wick players protesting innocence on their teammates' behalf, but not sure what Dan Simmons has to complain about in this situation. Falaise takes a quick free kick short for Wallace, who's going to play an early ball in towards the box over the head of Allen, headed up in the air towards the edge of the D. So Vance keeps it alive, hooks it out to the right-hand side, looking for Simon Arnold, just a bit too much on it. And that one bounces out of play for a throw-in to the visitors. Whitehead loops it up the line. Tom Vodin wins the header, then comes off the head of Crouch. Vodin trying to shepherd the ball in. The loose ball eventually bounces in Wick's favour. It's going to be a speculative effort from Simmons from around the edge of the centre circle, really. And you could see Addison off his line and went for the lob, but it drifted well wide. I guess, Wick could probably stump for ideas. It was worth a try in those sort of situations.
Yeah, I don't actually think it was a horrendous idea. Josh was off his line. And I don't know if the lad's got a decent strike on him, but if he did, the opportunity was there just because the turnover happened quite quickly, and Josh was slightly out of position, but it was still speculative.
Falaise takes a free kick and hits it up towards Ross Allen on the left-hand side, but it's got a bit too much on it. It goes out for a throw-in. Singer will take it in the right-back position for Wick.
I think if Guernsey are going to go direct, they do need to be aware. You've said a couple of times now that the wind's picked up. It's at Guernsey FC's back at the moment. So if they are going to go direct, they need to take that into account.
Chance here for Finn Duport. Hits it from distance, but drags that one comfortably wide in the end. So it will be a goal kick for Wick. No sign of any changes for either side just yet. But I'm not sure if the substitution rule extends down to this level where you can make 5 changes at step 5. But if the opportunity's there and Guernsey are leading comfortably, I'm sure Tony Vance would like to give game time to everyone on the bench. We are now restarting after another brief delay. It looks like Will Fazakali has been told to limber up a little bit. Belcher takes a high goal kick for Wick. Contested in midfield. Header won by Falaise. Allen tries to help it out wide. It's back with Wick, but the loose ball's pounced on in the end by Charlton Govine. He moves the ball out to the left-hand side. First time ball into Duport, back with Charlton Govine now. Drives the ball across the pitch to the far side of the area, looking for Finn Duport. It was intercepted, didn't quite have enough height on it. And Wick come away with the ball, but the pass is overhit towards Simmons on the left-hand side. And it goes out for a gift of a throw into Guernsey. Arnold looking for someone to show for it. And eventually does throw it into Charlton Govine, gets it back from his teammate. Ball slight is just pinched off him though, and gives Wick a chance to break away down the left-hand side. Really good recovery from Tom Vodin though. Simmons was trying to break away down the left-hand side. The ball has gone out of play for a throw-in near the halfway line for Wick. And Whitehead's wondering why he's being sent back, but the ball definitely didn't go all the way back, go out that far up the pitch. So Whitehead's been told to go back to the halfway line. Throws it forward. Held up by Gray. Vodin for company. Tries to turn Vodin. He does eventually move the ball onto Glanfield, but the first time pass is straight to Jacob Falaise, who It's under a bit of pressure from Simmons, who doesn't like Jacob Valles to go into ground, but Jacob didn't complain for anything. Addison clips the ball out towards Simon Arnold, slightly misjudges the bounce towards Whitehead, who heads it away, and then eventually volleyed out of play by Whitehead.
Yeah, it's got a little bit scrappy last couple of minutes. I think the conditions have changed slightly, and I think it'd be good to see Guernsey just get their foot on the ball, compose possession, and start building those attacks again. But be patient.
But nearly 10 minutes of the second half, still 2-0 in Guernsey's favour. Throwing is towards Murray, who heads the ball on. Robinson helps it back to Belcher. Murray goes to close down, but Belcher does clear the ball away towards the halfway line. Header won by Tom Dodds onto Finn Duport, but Robinson steals in and heads the ball away. Hooked back towards the Wick defence by Brandon Wallace, and eventually is a free kick given in the Wick defence. Taken quickly. Bingham knocks the ball down the line. Gray's chasing it with Seb Vance, but Vance does enough just to help the ball back to Jacob Valles. He clears his lines, and the ball's gone out of play for a throw-in on the far side, I think. Or in fact, has he given... It might have given a free kick the other way here, because Dave Crouch has got his head in his hands about a decision, so yes. The referee deems him to have just caught Jacob as he cleared the ball away.
Yeah, it's a Guernsey free kick. He left a little bit on him there just as he cleared the ball down the line. Another thing Guernsey will have to be aware of this season, and it makes me think of it because the refs copying a little bit from Wick at the moment, but the sin bins are in play for dissent at this level. So only for dissent, but that's 10 minutes off the field if you receive a caution for dissent.
Yeah, it's a good reminder. I wonder who the first Guernsey player to receive one will be. I'm sure it'll happen at some point. Josh Addison with a high free kick, and it finds its way all the way to Charlton Govine, but as he was challenging to hold on to the ball, he just brought down his man, so it's going to be a free kick to Wick midway inside their half.
Wouldn't have seen me getting sin binned back in my day.
Getting a few comments, by the way. Thanks to those of you who tuned into the stream. A couple of questions coming about highlights and things. So Ben's comment, I'm afraid I don't know the answer to video highlights from games. I don't know if it might just be the goals that go up on social media this year rather than fully packaged highlights. But if the end of last season's anything to go by with the games at Victoria Park, the goals will be available to see in some way, shape or form at some point. Thanks very much for your interest. Wick in possession on the halfway line, but Tom Vodin wins it back well. Ross Allen drives forward. Charlton Govine wanted it. It goes the other way to Sam Murray near the corner flag. Tries to just knock it back into the path of Allen, but they weren't on the same wavelength there. And Wick eventually worked the ball away up towards the halfway line. Jacob Valles intercepts on his first time pass. Doesn't quite find Arnold, but it finds Allen, and he curls the ball onto the crossbar. Nearly 3-0 for Guernsey there. Almost out of nothing that came, just from a clearance near the halfway line. Presented another great chance for Guernsey.
Yeah, as you say, I'm not sure how that actually did happen. I think a failed clearance in there somewhere along the line, and Ross would probably be slightly disappointed himself. He had he was on his left foot, but his left foot's exceptionally good, and I think it was quite straight. I think he would have liked to find the corner there.
Guernsey do have it back, and Tom Dodds is caught late by Crouch, I think it is, and Guernsey will have a free kick near the halfway line. And Jacob Valles will once again take. They've tended to be relatively direct with some of these when the ball is central, but this time it goes short to Dodds, who can stride up the left channel and clip the ball into the area. Picks out the runner Govine, who's just trying to keep the ball in, and he doesn't quite prevent the goal kick as he tried to just slide in and hook it out for a throw-in. So it will be Wick to restart possession in their own penalty area. This time they do play a short goal kick and still have the ball in their own penalty area. The ball goes back to Belcher. This time he does go long towards the halfway line. Jacob Valles wins it easily against Dan Simmons. Loose ball drops for Bingham, who plays a direct ball out to the right-hand side, but Crouch had moved too early, according to the assistant referee.
Yeah, I'll be disappointed because that was a good ball. It was a bit like a googly from a leg spinner in cricket. It had a little bit of swerve into his path there.
Addison knocks it long. There's a bit of confusion in the back line, and there could be a chance here. Ross Allen could be in. He's on the edge of the penalty area. He was helped out by Sam Murray. He goes down under a challenge. Still plays on with Simon Arnold on the right-hand side, and his ball in is claimed by the goalkeeper. I don't know if the referee played advantage there or just deemed that there was no foul at all, but Ross Allen did go down in the middle as he tried to move the ball out as he was shaping to shoot, but no complaints for anyone in a green shirt there.
Yeah, no, I actually saw that as a really good tackle. I thought he got a good chunk of the ball. If he gets that wrong, it's a stonewall penalty. So, but I think he got a good chunk of the ball and saved a good opportunity for Guernsey FC.
Just coming up to the hour mark now. Guernsey still leading Wick by 2-0 in their return to step 5. Loose ball here might be picked up by Govine. Alert from Singer, though, just to get the ball ahead of him and play it back to Belcher, who hits it high towards the halfway line. Jacob Fallais wins yet another header against Simmons. Loose ball bouncing around now. Challenge between Gray and Vance. Gray wins that one. Bit more height on him. Still a loose ball, and eventually Seb Vance heads it into the path of Allen. Allen hooks it to his right for Arnold, but he was clipped in the process, and Guernsey will get a free kick in midfield.
Yeah, quite a straight free kick here. Interested again whether they look for that full-back ball or just build up.
Simon Arnold's gone central, so it's not going to come out to the right-hand side, that's for sure. I think maybe Govine's just going to clip this one high towards the far corner of the penalty area. Govine does clip it into the box. It's a Wick head that gets on the end of it and then helped away from the area. Crouch tries to come away with it, but Brandon Wallace beats him to it. Hits a high ball back into the area. Could be a test for Belcher. He claims it well. Just going back to the point about the video highlights. Thanks again for the interest. As I say, I'm not quite sure just yet what the plan is going to be, but the person who asked the question, Ben, if you are local, then I suggest that the best way to see the goals is to get yourself down to Victoria Park. You might be mainland based, of course. Wick take a quick throw in. Bingham just about gets past Govine, and then that's a useful ball hit out to the left-hand side for Granfield to chase. Plays it back for Whitehead. Scoops it towards the edge of the area. A bit of space here for Crouch to hit one. And that's a lovely finish. And Wick, out of nowhere, just after the hour back in the game, it's 2-1. There's a bit of an inquest going on in the Guernsey back line. It just seemed that they temporarily switched off there, and no one picked out the run when Crouch drifted to the edge of the box.
Yeah, it looked a little bit straightforward in the build-up. Take nothing away from the finish. Touch and then half volley, crossbar and in. It was a lovely finish, but all a little bit easy down Guernsey FC's right-hand side here. And I'd like to see that back, to be honest, and have a look how it develops.
Coming off, number 14, Simon Arnold.
Change for Guernsey.
So it's first substitution of the afternoon, just after that goal.
Number 17,
Callum Nalasha, who is made his return to the side off the bench in the FA Cup last week. He played 4 appearances as a 16-year-old a few years ago. He's been playing in the Premier League ever since. So it looks like it might be a like-for-like swap for Simon Arnold.
Yeah, had a really strong season for his club side last year, Cal, for Saints, obviously in their very successful campaign. And it's good to see that he's taken a step up to try and challenge for a starting place in the Guernsey side.
So this will be interesting now, because the outlook of the game could be changing completely here, because we've seen, with the greatest respect to Wick, we've seen almost nothing from them in terms of any attacking threat, but just one time where Guernsey switch off, they're back in it, and whether that's going to signal a change in momentum of this game. Guernsey, I don't have it so comfortable anymore, that's for sure.
Yeah, and that is the danger. One chance, one opportunity, one mistake, and it changes the dynamic of the game. Hopefully, Guernsey can now go back on the attack.
Well, they've engineered a really good move from the right back position all the way to the edge of Wick's penalty area. Now Brandon Wallace in the box. Goes past one man, and there's a useful challenge just poking out of play for a corner. Really worked. Tom Bowden won the ball back from Guernsey almost by his own corner flag, and a few one-touch passes later involving Finn Duport, Ross Allen, Charlton Govine and Guernsey were well up the pitch there. That was a lovely finish, as you said, from from Dave Crouch. It just seemed to bounce kindly for him on the edge of the box, and he drifted to the edge and no one was following him. And lovely lob. Corners towards the near post for Guernsey. Who's it going to drop to here? It's fired at goal by Murray, but he was always underneath it. And in fact, it took a deflection, and it's going to be another corner for Guernsey.
Yeah, you're right. It was a great finish. As I say, I think pretty sure it was on the half volley, and Josh didn't stand a chance.
So another corner here for Guernsey, another in-swinger. Charlton Govine to take. A little bit too much on it this time. It drifts all the way across the 6-yard box, and no one's able to get on the end of it. So it's a Wick goal kick, and yeah, suddenly the mood, you can tell even among the crowd, the mood is slightly switched. Just not such exuberance amongst the crowd. It's just quietened down slightly, and that's what a goal can do. Football's funny. It can be looking like it's going one way, and it just takes one moment for everything to change. Goal kick taken by Belcher. Tom Voding goes up and wins the header. Ross Allen, lovely little back flick into the path of Callum Lasher. He's got Sam Murray completely free if he can find him. It's played across to Murray. It's a great save. He probably should have found the back of the net. Ross Allen with the rebound, volleys it across goal and wide. But lovely bit of play again from Guernsey, presenting the chance for Sam Murray, and the goalkeeper stuck out an arm to keep it out. But Murray had a little bit of time there.
Yeah, really good opportunity. Keeper did well. It wasn't exactly straight at him, but it wasn't right in the corner, but it was very close, and so it's a really good reaction save.
Wick now trying to get themselves back into the game. A crossfield ball doesn't quite find its target, headed away as far as Govine, back to Jacob Fallais. Charlton Govine picks the ball up and then plays it into the path of Finn Duport, who strides forward and plays a lovely ball into the path of Sam Murray. He's trying to drive past his man. This could be another chance for Murray. Goalkeeper did well. It's hit the outside of the post. Sam Murray with 2 chances in a matter of moments. He could have made it 3-1 there and given Guernsey clear daylight again. But, another chance has come and gone for the Green Lions to extend the lead.
Yeah, and there's no real need for panic, but they've hit the crossbar. They've had 2 really good chances from point blank range, and now hit the outside of the post. There's still only 1 goal in it, so they need to be careful.
Guernsey just trying to bring the pace of the game up again. I think there's a lot of one-touch passing going in midfield. It's very neat, and it's presenting some good openings for Guernsey now, but that's not such a good one. That ball forward from Fallais intercepted. But Wick can only serve to clear their lines rather than keep possession. Goes through to Addison, who comes out of his area to volley the ball away again. Singer slightly misreads the bounce, but he does eventually come away with it and plays a useful 1-2 with Crouch. But his ball inside is very poor, and Seb Vance picks it up. Tom Dodds now in possession for Guernsey. Tries to play it into the centre circle, but it plays it straight to an opposition player. And Jacob Fallais has got to be careful here not to bring it down his man. He goes down under a challenge. The referee doesn't seem to have a problem with it. Guernsey eventually do get the ball away. It's going to be a corner for Wick, and again, almost out of nothing, suddenly Wick almost get a chance for an equaliser.
Yeah, it's Tom Dodds on that occasion tried to play quite a bold pass forwards. They've been trying to do that all game, to be fair, but I think the slight difference second half is that the execution's not quite been there, and it's presented Wick with a couple of chances to get on the attack.
Here comes the corner. It's another high one testing, but Josh Addison watches that one bounce onto the roof of the net. So 22 minutes, so we're 3/4 of the way through the game now. 68 minutes gone. Guernsey 2, Wick 1, and the complexion of the game changed slightly by that Wick goal. Guernsey just need to remain composed. It's a high ball hit forward into the left channel for Murray to chase. He's got Callum Lalasha as the only man in the penalty area at the moment. It goes towards the edge of the box. Seb Vance collects. He's trying to force his way into the area. His run is blocked out. And Wick clear their lines. Finn Duport picks the ball up in a bit of space, gives it to Tom Dodds. Well, it had been a convincing start for Guernsey. Might not look so convincing if they hang on just for a 2-1 win. There's still a long way to go here. Tom Dodds under a bit of pressure in the back line, needs some options, goes back to Josh Addison, takes the safer option and clips the ball up towards the halfway line. Volley forward from Bingham is just straight to Jacob Falaise, and then Govine sets Ross Allen away. He's got Lalasha to his right, plays it behind the defender. That's a really good ball for Lalasha, who goes for the early cross. Goalkeeper goes up and claims it before it can reach Sam Murray at the far post. But then the quick kick out from his Belcher is a poor one. He just boots it straight out of play for a Guernsey throw in the halfway line. Quick free kick throw in taken for Guernsey. Falaise plays the ball into the centre circle for Finn Duport, whose touch was a little bit loose, and he's presented the ball back to Bingham. His early ball tries to pick out the run of Simmons. He just loses his footing slightly, and Jacob Falaise wins that particular battle and strides away with it. Good defending because he was the last man there, Falaise. Ball into the feet of Murray. He's got time and space to turn, so he can slip in a couple of players here. He's gone to Lalasha on the right-hand side. Early cross from him, takes a deflection, so it goes behind for another Guernsey corner.
Yeah, again, just a couple of loose passes, loose touches, and it's giving Wick some sort of half opportunities to develop something, but that wasn't really happening in first half. So I think that's the main difference is half time. I think going forward, final third, Guernsey is still playing really well. Middle third, just a little bit loose at the moment.
Ross Allen is offering the short option to Charlton Govine for the corner here. Govine does go short to him in the end. Not content to rush Guernsey. It's back with Charlton Govine. Drives the ball across goal. Not sure who got the final touch, but it's still just about alive in there. Eventually, Belcher claims the loose ball. There's some half-hearted appeals behind the goal for a penalty, but the ball out from Belcher's not great anyway, and is picked up by Wallace, and is just chooses the composed option, gives it back to Finn Duport. Guernsey will try and build again. Played out to the right-hand side for Callum Lalasha. Sliding challenge from Whitehead means it will be a Guernsey throw-in. 19 minutes left of this game. Guernsey 2, Wick 1 on the opening day of the Southern Combination Premier Division. Guernsey's first time playing at Step 5 for 9 years. Their first time in this division. They're in the Combined Counties League. Last time they're at this level. Addison plays it into the feet of Jacob Falaise. Falaise clips it towards the left-hand side, looking for Wallace, but it was easily mopped up by Singer, and then Robertson heads it back to Belcher. They did run opposition close. Obviously, Guernsey played a Step 4 side in the FA Cup last week. Wick also played a Step 4 side in VCD Athletic, and it was they ran them close. It's only 3-2. Chance here for Simmons now with a bit of space on the edge of the box, and Wick could be into the box here. Crouch is just trying to compose himself, but it's a poor hit in the end from the position he was in. That's a really good chance for Wick that's been wasted there. It's taken a deflection, actually, I think, maybe, to be fair. It looked like the referee had initially pointed to a goal kick, but it was deflected wide.
Yeah, he did. I thought there was a deflection. He went goal kick, but I think he's had some help from the assistant referee on the far side there. Again, just a little bit loose, a little bit easy. Second half has not been quite the slick performance we had first half.
Crouch is going to take the corner for Wick. It curls away to the edge of the 6-yard box, volleyed at goal by Bingham. It hits a player. Charlton Govine clears the ball away and then is caught on the thigh in the process. And he stayed down and will presumably want some treatment. Might be a case of a bit of game management, which we've become very accustomed to seeing at this level of football, in all levels of football, really. But Govine is getting back to his feet, and the referee is having a word with one of the Wick players. And there is going to be a yellow card for the Wick player. I think it's it's the number 18 or previously number 5, George Bingham, who's gone in the book. So that's the second yellow of the game. And Guernsey will restart here with a free kick. Both teams seem to have just gone back towards the benches for a break. So I guess most games in August, the officials will allow these drinks breaks to happen, which gives us a chance to just recap on what's happening. So Guernsey were well in control at the break, in the driving seat. Quick fire goals from Tom Vodin and Finn Duport. 2 goals in the space of 3 minutes just after the half hour gave Guernsey a lead that they were really good value for. It seemed to be more of the same in the second half in terms of the way that the game was shaping out, but just one lapse moment in Guernsey defence, allowing Dave Crouch just to pull off to the edge of the area unmarked to meet a pullback from Isaac Glanfield, and a lovely finish from him has pulled a goal back for Wick, which means this game is still in the balance.
Yeah, they're well and truly in it. Second half, they're getting some chances, not necessarily through their own play, but putting a bit of pressure on to force some errors from Guernsey, and yeah, it's not the game we thought it would be at half time. We thought Guernsey might be able to push on and open up a gap, but Wick, to their credit, stuck at it and got a goal, and that's football.
Well, Guernsey are instantly back in action in midweek. They've got an away game, their first midweek trip of the season. There's going to be more of them this year because I think the rules at this level with regards to Guernsey and maybe Jersey taking part in non-league is that at this step it was different in step 4, but at step 5 I don't think Guernsey are allowed to have any midweek home games. All their home games have to be Saturday, which means any of the midweek night slots that are allocated during the season, Guernsey have to travel away. So they're on Tuesday night, they're playing at Seaford Town, newly promoted side. They were actually beaten in the playoff final a couple of years ago. Wick got promoted in 2024, beating Seaford Town, I think, on penalties. So Seaford obviously stuck at it and got themselves promoted in the summer. So wait to see what coverage we'll be able to bring a view of that game, Guernsey's first away trip of the season. Guernsey do have possession back. It was a bit of a scramble for the ball in midfield, but now Brandon Wallace has a bit of time and plays a 1-2 with Dodds, who has the ball back again. And it was under a bit of pressure to go back to Addison. Just Wick have just got a bit of a belief and lift from that goal, haven't they? They're closing things down now, whereas before they were content to sit off. They're now trying to force some mistakes from Guernsey's back three.
Yeah, their energy levels seem to have lifted a little bit as well. Perhaps Guernsey's have dropped a little bit as well, so it's a combination of the two. But yeah, like you say, they're certainly looking more lively and they've created a couple of chances.
Might be a case of the pre-season, of course. I don't know what Wick's pre-season programme was like, but there's a good chance that they had several friendlies like most teams on the mainland do. Guernsey, of course, only had the one pre-season friendly and then the FA Cup game last week. We are going to get a second change here.
Substitution for Guernsey going off, number 24,
Jacob Falaise is coming off, which is a surprise when Guernsey defending a 1-goal lead. Maybe he's picked up a slight knock. And but there is some experience coming into the back line because Marathi winning manager Dave Merris, who's still going strong, well into his 40s, is now on the pitch. So I imagine it'll be a like-for-like swap, or Dave Merris might go on the left of the back three with Vodin's coming into the middle and Tom Dodds on the right of the three.
Yeah, which should actually give him a little bit more natural balance in possession now as well, because obviously Doddsy out there on his left, on the left-hand side, he's not left-footed, he's quite predominantly right-footed. So it gives some nice natural balance in possession.
So maybe he's just being saved. Maybe he's isn't looking too much distress, Jacob. So maybe he's just being saved for Tuesday. He's won pretty much every single header he's contested today, marking Simmons. Tom Dodds plays the ball into midfield for Charlton Govine. He has to go back to Merris, who gets his first touch of the ball, who in turn is forced all the way back to Addison. Yeah, they're definitely pressing everything now. Wick, they're following the ball around and trying to chase it down every time the ball gets passed backwards. Addison's kick in the end just bounces out of play. So everything to play for in the final 13 minutes plus injury time in this game. Wick now just the 1 goal behind. Guernsey's momentum not quite what it was. Merris again with the interception up towards the halfway line. Ross Allen brings it down in a bit of space, hits it early out towards Charlton Govine, trying to chase the ball with Singer. It just comes off the heels of Singer. Brandon Wallace went in for the challenge, couldn't quite win possession. Singer did well in the end under pressure, gives it to Crouch, who then tries to move it on to Bingham, who clips the ball over the head of Dodds for Glanfield to chase, but Dodds get there first and plays it back to Addison. First time clearance from him. Headed away by Robinson, hooked on by Tester. Not really looking, just hit it over his shoulder. Vodin now heads the ball forward. It's going to go beyond Govine and picked up again by Tester in midfield. Moves the ball on to Crouch, clips it over the top early. His flag stays down. As Simmons goes in towards goal, he's forced to a little bit from the angle now. Tom Vodin's following him every step of the way. Plays it into the middle for Glanfield. That's a really useful challenge. I'm not sure who got the final touch for Guernsey. I think it might have been Seb Vance, because Glanfield had a straightforward shot there, and luckily Vance got in behind him, poked out a toe and just poked it back towards Addison. And now here come Guernsey on the counter-attack. Lalasha clips the ball down the line for Charlton Govine to try and relieve the pressure. Where's it going to drop? It drops on the roof of the net. Just a little bit too much on it, Charlton Govine, as the ball goes from end to end. Good chance at both ends in the space of 20 seconds or so.
Yeah, back to front. They've the number 10 for Wick, Simmons, is playing on the shoulder of the last defender, Tom Vodin, and He's been found a couple of times now. They did well to stand him up, delay his attack, and it was actually Seb Vance, who's now leaving the field of play, who made that important interception. And then back to front down the other end. Charlton just putting a little bit too much on it, but Guernsey need that goal, and Wick are pushing for the equaliser.
Well, Guernsey have made their third change, whether you heard that being announced there. Will Fazakali has replaced Seb Vance, which means I don't think there's a change of shape. Ross Allen's dropped back into midfield into where Seb Vance was. I think maybe Tony Vance just wanted some more attacking-minded players on the pitch. Maybe just wants to Guernsey to try and finish this game off, not have any nervy ending. Wick in possession at the moment, though. Just over 10 minutes to go of the 90 now. Guernsey 2, Wick 1.
I think what that change does do for Guernsey is gives them obviously strong physical presence with both strikers now. Faz will cause problems.
Wick breaking down the right-hand side now. It's played into the feet of Crouch, who tried to hit the return ball back. There's actually been a change. We missed it, I'm afraid, for Wick. Matlack has come on, number 14. Not quite sure. I think it's number 11, Whitehead, who's gone off. I think that might have happened at the same time that Fazakali came on. Addison in possession for Guernsey in the 6-yard box, hits it first time into midfield, but it's picked up by Wick and clipped back in towards the edge of the area. Lovely first time touch from Glanfield. He gets the ball back from Simmons, trying to work himself a bit of space for the shot, drives at the goal, it hits Allen, rebounds kindly for Simmons. He's being pursued by Tom Dodds at the moment. He's got to be careful not to stick out a leg and bring him down. It's hit back towards Gray. His early kick has a lot of curl on it to the far post, and it went over everyone, including Matlack at the back there. But Wick were still in possession. The advantage has been given initially, but the referee's now called it back for a free kick to Wick on the just a few yards in from the touchline. Tony Vance is looking quite frustrated on the far side. I think he was hoping his side would have had the game well and truly to bed by now. But
yeah, you've got to credit Wick for the way they've stuck at it. It's not been pretty at times, but they've kept themselves in the game, and like I say, now they're the more dominant team. So Guernsey will have to work hard and defend this set piece.
Simmons drives it in low, but it's straight into the two-man wall that were assembled, and Brandon Wallace manages to keep it in as well. Clips the ball up the line. Singer plays it forward. Simmons picks it up again. The Lasher challenging for it, and then Charlton Govine shuffles his feet around to make room and get the ball away. Now Wallace clips the ball up the line, and Lasher was chasing it, but it's been intercepted. Tom Dodds has got to be careful here under a bit of pressure, and he did get the call from Addison that he had to be alert. There's a bit of a wrestling match going on for the ball involving Will Fazakali and his marker, but they've come away with it this time, Wick. But Tom Bowden with a useful interception in the back line. Then Finn Duport goes to ground under a missed time challenge from Bingham. So Guernsey have a free kick on the far side. Just another chance maybe just to slow down any momentum that Wick are building up in these closing stages. There's 7.5 minutes left of the 90 now.
Yeah, that's what Fazakali will give you up top, is that physical presence there. Given the defender seemed more interested in engaging with him than where the ball was. So that he's going to be a bit of a concern, certainly with those direct balls.
It's going to be Dave Merris to take the free kick. It's just a couple of yards inside the left touchline in Guernsey's half. Hits a high one towards the edge of the area. Wynn holds it up slightly. Fazakali cushions it down to Allen, who now picks the ball up in a bit of space. Moves the ball out to the left, where Govine is waiting up against his man. Still in possession. Hit the ground originally, but now he heads for the byline. Stands up towards the far post. Nodded in off. Sam Murray thought he'd made it 3-1 there. It was a clearance off the line. Stopped that one going in. Sam Murray with a simple header a couple of yards out, and he thought he just nodded Guernsey 3-1 up, but really good defending on the line keeps Wick alive in this game. Guernsey still in possession. Dodds gives it to Ross Allen. The forward run is from Finn Duport, but it's slightly behind him. Guernsey just trying to press the Wick defence to stop them getting out, but they just about managed it on this occasion. That was a glorious chance to Guernsey. They do have the ball back on the edge of the box, though. Danger not over yet. Murray slips it in towards Callum Lasher, who's on the right-hand side of the penalty area. Early cross from him hits Cowdrey. Comes back to Callum Lasher, drop of the shoulder, then clips a lovely ball into the far post. Off exactly was waiting. It was a good header at the far post, though, from the defender. Might drop here for Charlton Govine now. It just needs something to open up from here. And Govine hits it towards goal, but it's too central and gathered by the goalkeeper.
Yeah, that's sort of the first sustained period of pressure that Guernsey FC have had in the second half on the front foot. Charlton did really well on the left-hand side and got the cross in, and Murray did well with a header, but great clearance off the line.
Here come Wick on the attack now. Glanfield plays it to the edge of the box again. Simmons lets it run on to Matlack. Back to Simmons, who's outside the area. He might be forced away here. Slips it in towards Crouch. They're slowly being forced away, though, which is good. Guernsey defended that well. Ball clipped up the line. Tom Vodin reads it well. Lalasha hooks it on. He takes a late clip from his marker, and it will be a free kick, and Guernsey can relieve the pressure once again. Just over 5 minutes left now.
Yeah, Vodin looks like he might need some treatment here. Not sure if it's cramp or he's picked up a knock.
Well, I'll say, yeah, Guernsey have made 3 changes. I'm not sure. Well, you might know from I don't know what it is down in the Prio League locally. Is it 5 substitutes now allowed in the Prio League?
From 3 instances, yeah.
Well, in that case, I think Guernsey's race is run then, because they've done 3 different instances of a substitution.
Yeah, no,
although maybe it's for Fraser McGuinness.
Yeah, it's
getting ready.
It's different to the Prio, so it's 5 from 5 at this level.
So Fraser McGuinness, we will see for the final few minutes, but he's not coming on just yet. Guernsey have a free kick, which Josh Addison takes from the right back position. It's a high one up towards Govine, cushions it down, falls nicely for Murray. That's a lovely hit. And Matar Murray does have his goal, and Guernsey surely have wrapped up the 3 points now. It was a lovely, sweetly struck volley that zipped along the ground into the far corner. It all came from Addison's long ball. Lovely cushion down from Charlton Govine. And there's a yellow card being shown to somebody. I'm not sure who and what for. I don't know if it's it looks like it's to Callum Lasher. But the thing that's important here is that Guernsey are 3-1 up, and that should be the 3 points, Tom.
Yeah, you'd like to think so. I think the keeper will actually be slightly disappointed with that one. It was a good strike. It was on target. I think it slithered under him slightly. Look, perhaps Guernsey haven't quite deserved that second half, but they can breathe a sigh of relief with only just over 3 minutes of normal time left. You'd like to think that they can control it from here on in. Wick may have other ideas.
That has been that change made, by the way, for Guernsey. Fraser McGuinness has replaced Brandon Wallace, so that'll be a straight swap on the left-hand side. But that's a bit of a relief, really, from a Guernsey point of view, isn't it? Because, like we said, they were cruising before. Then one goal sort of changed everything. And, yeah, there was a bit of a few nervy moments, but it looks like Guernsey should have done enough to win the game now, as they go on the attack again and get a throw in near the corner flag.
Yeah, and that's the same at any level of football. The opposition are going to have their phases. It's how you deal with them.
Ross Allen now lines up a shot, and it wasn't a bad effort from Guernsey's captain, but well gathered by the goalkeeper, who clears the ball straight upfield. Tom Vodin wins the header in the middle.
Guernsey FC man of the match, sponsored by Samuel Pinks, is number 5, Tom Vodin.
Tom Vodin being given Guernsey man of the match there on his 100th appearance, scoring the opening goal, of course. Guernsey now suddenly all have the energy. It's them that's charging down the Wick back line. 2 minutes to go now. Guernsey 3, Wick 1. Sam Murray's first of the season. Will Fazakali has just pounced on a loose ball. He's got options around him. He tries to go in behind the defender to Fraser McGuinness. Can't quite find it. The flag's gone up for offside against McGuinness. Yeah,
difficult one to call that man of the match. It's been, first half particularly was a really strong team collective effort. So the goals probably edged it for Tom, but I thought Jacob played really well as well.
Dave Meris hooks the ball up in the air, and then Finn Duport just heads it calmly back towards Josh Addison from a distance. And he just eats up a few more seconds before picking it up under pressure from Dan Simmons. There's been another change for Wick, by the way. The number 15, Remy Penfold's on again, and also the number 12, Teddy Stairs. I apologise that I think those happened in the aftermath of the goal, so we were busy kind of talking about that and didn't quite see who'd come off. But Remy Penfold appears to be playing in the front line, and Teddy Stairs in midfield. I think Wick are just having to throw everyone on now, and it's all or nothing for them, really. We've just gone into the 90th minute.
Today's match attendance is 849. Thank you for your continued support.
849 and come to see Guernsey's opening day. What looks like is going to be a win. Dave Merris now trying to drive forward, all 44 years or whatever it is. Early shot comes from distance, but Josh Addison gathers that one easily. Addison ignores the availability of Tom Dodds and opts to go route one instead. Fazakerley is actually going to get there ahead of his man. What's the referee giving here? He's blown his whistle. He's given Guernsey the penalty. Will Fazakerley took a nudge and hit the ground. It almost happened in slow motion, so I thought that's why he was leaving it. But the referee has given the penalty and a chance for Guernsey to make it 4-1 here in injury time. And as always, number 10, Ross Allen, is the man stepping up here. And Guernsey now have the chance to finish this game with a 4-1 win. Well,
we spoke about Fazakerley's physical presence. That's it demonstrated there. It was actually the assistant referee that gave the decision. I don't think the referee was going to give it, but it was a credible area for the assistant referee to get involved, and he's helped him out there.
No one's going to believe me because I didn't tell anyone, but I did predict 4-1 as the opening, as the scoreline today.
No one believes you.
I said it to myself at home, though. That's why. Here comes Ross Allen. Hush descends on Victoria Park as he steps up, drives it into the corner. Goalkeeper went to his right the wrong way, and Ross Allen has made it Guernsey 4, Wick 1. And Guernsey are going to be near the top of the table on opening day. Of course, the table doesn't mean anything after one game, but Guernsey getting off to a flying start here as they return to the Southern Combination Premier Division.
Yeah, job done as far as they're concerned. 3 points is the main thing. Yellow card shown in the aftermath for a Wick player. Not sure what it was for. He's not gone to the bench to be sin-binned, but I can only imagine it was for dissent. But
so Ross Allen, already Guernsey's top scorer for the season because he scored against Bedfont in the FA Cup, so he's got 2 for the season already. And the crowd has found their voice again, the relief. And we might well see a 5th and final change for Guernsey if there's time. We're now in stoppage time, by the way. No, we haven't been told. Oh, here we go. We'll find out. 5 minutes added on. We've already had at least a minute and a half of that already, so it won't be too much longer. But I don't know if Guernsey are going to try and make a 5th and final change just to get the final substitute on. Guernsey back in possession. Govine plays it towards Sam Murray. It's been intercepted. Guernsey do have it back, though. McGuinness goes square for Finn Duport. Into the path of Fazakerley. Could drop here. Tries to force away past his man. Still trying to work his chance for a shot. Drives at the goal. It was a good effort from Fazakerley. Really good reaction save from the goalkeeper. Danger still not gone, though. And Charlton Govine got a little bit too excited as the ball bounced in front of him. And in fact, his shot has gone all the way to the opposite corner flag where it stayed in play. It was that far off target. Lalasha pulls it to the edge of the area. It's beyond Fazakerley. Might drop here for Govine for another chance on the box. He curls it towards goal. And the referee has actually given a free kick for a foul right on the edge of the box. It's all happening in stoppage time here.
Yeah, and I think in the previous build-up, the Wick bench in particular were looking for a foul. I couldn't see one, but we're obviously quite far away here. But that was an interesting one. If he let him get the shot away and then give the foul, so they obviously decided that there wasn't a clear advantage gained. And this is literally 18 and a half yards out.
Well, Fraser McGuinness is standing over it as well as Ross Allen. McGuinness yet to find the net for Guernsey. This is his 6th appearance for the club in his 2nd season. I think Ross Allen might fancy another one here. Charlton Govine, surprisingly, doesn't seem to look too interested. In fact, McGuinness has now walked away, so it almost certainly is Ross Allen who's going to take this. And this is what we wanted to see. Plenty of goals from Guernsey. Will there be a 5th? Ross Allen, it hits the wall. Guernsey will retain possession, though, I think, because Charlton Govine's battling for the ball and keeps it in play on the touchline. Or has he? No, not quite. The assistant referee said that one's rolled just over. And he's just halting play, the referee, for a final change. So Zach Gilman's going to get a couple of minutes as well. And he's replacing Tom Vodin, the man of the match. So Tom Vodin, who celebrated his 100th appearance for the club this afternoon and marked it with his first goal as well, which was also Guernsey's 1,000th league goal. Nice few milestones coming in one today. He's replaced by Zach Gilman. And yeah, Zach will get around a minute of action here. Can Guernsey fashion one more chance to get themselves a fifth? Throw-in taken by Wick. Ross Allen picks up the loose ball, plays it back to McGuinness, who's dropped into centre-back now for the last moments of the game. Fazakerley challenges it from the air. Now there's a useful header there from Callum and Lasher too. Murray over his head to Fazakerley, who can't quite get on the end of it, so it bounces out for the goal kick.
Yeah, it's a good day's work in the end for Guernsey FC. Their first half performance really did deserve probably more than the 2-goal lead that they had at half time. Wick came out strongly. A few mistakes from Guernsey FC second half made it nervous for that middle part of the second half. But since Guernsey got that third goal, they've been back in control.
Dodds plays the ball back to Josh Addison, who's under a bit of pressure, and a little drop of the shoulder and dribbles past Simmons and clears the ball away. Zach Gilman's going to chase the long ball forward and get on the end of it as well. He's got Fazakerley and Murray in the middle. Both of them will be keen for a goal. In fact, Gilman's decided just to let that one roll out of play, which I'd understand if you're only a goal up, but when you got a chance to score a fifth, maybe just keep the attack going, but that's just me.
Well, maybe he's going to be heavily involved in this corner routine.
Charlton Govine goes across to take. Wick have actually left 3 players forward. I think the game's probably gone now. They're probably more in damage limitation mode than they are getting back into the game. As the ball comes in, it goes all the way across. The Lasher can't keep it in on the far byline, so it goes out for a goal kick, which Kevin Gilligan, the assistant coach, expertly arrows back towards the Wick goal for them to restart play here. I'm sure the whistle will be going any moment now because 5 minutes has gone of stoppage time on my watch, and I started it a little bit after the 90 minutes was up.
I also think Charlton Govine's had an excellent game as well today. Been really, really good. Ross Allen as well, solid as you'd expect.
It's a bit of a tussle for the possession going on here, and there's not going to be any time for a free kick though, because that is the final whistle. So we had a bit of a scare in the second half, but in the end, Guernsey's return to step 5 is a successful one. Their season is well and true off and running. Tom Vodin giving Guernsey the lead from very close range on his 100th appearance, getting his first goal for the club just after the half hour. 3 minutes later, Finn Duport's header made it 2-0, and Guernsey were cruising, and it looked to be similar in the second half, but a quick fire goal out of nothing. Dave Crouch with a lovely volley from the edge of the box after Guernsey's defence went to sleep. Got Wick back in the game. It's a little bit nervy for a while, but 2 late goals for Guernsey have settled it. 1 for Sam Murray and a penalty for Ross Allen. You were saying, Tom, that job done, and that's all that matters on opening day, I guess. Yeah,
really important to get those 3 points for Guernsey at first home game of the season. It's going to be a long, challenging season, so to get off to a good start like that is really important, I think. It's hard to read too much into that. We don't know where Wick will end up, in the league table. We don't know where Guernsey will end up in the league table. So all you can do is go out there and perform. Their first half performance in particular was excellent, and they were good value for that 2-goal lead they had at half time, if not more. And that they had to ride out that difficult part of the second half, which they did. There was a few moments, a brilliant goal. But yeah, in the end, I think they're good value for the 3 points.
Well, there's been a yellow card shown after the final whistle now to Charlie Robinson. They got a couple shown in the aftermath of the goals as well. So slightly bad-tempered ending to the game from the visitors, who have given Guernsey a good challenge today. But Guernsey going off to well-deserved applause now. So thanks very much for sticking with us. As we said, Guernsey are back in action on Tuesday in midweek. The referee's still having a word with a few people. In fact, a red card has now been shown to a member of the backroom staff. So it's ended in a very bad-tempered way for Wick. A red card shown after the final whistle. A little bit of a shame because the game itself was pretty good-natured. But Guernsey have got started with a win. Thanks very much for joining me, Tom. Great to have you with me. Hope to have you back again. Like I said, Guernsey are in action away from home. Their first midweek trip of the season comes on Tuesday away to Seaford Town. We will let you know as soon as we can when we know what's happening there about coverage, whether we'll be able to get anybody to the game to do live commentary or whether it'll just be the social media. We are not quite sure. But here at Victoria Park, Guernsey season is off and running. See you next time for the next home game for sure. We'll see what happens with the next couple of away games. It's finished Guernsey 4, Wick 1.